Did you put stuff on there?
No.
Okay. I did put a few things on there.
Mhm.
Um, but I mean, I don't think I've touched it in like, in fact, I want to say the last time I touched it was when Asada Shakur died.
Yeah,
So,
I saw like the things that you added.
okay.
But I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I have disassociated for like the past month.
Yeah.
So I feel like anything that I have heard, it's been like via TikTok or like people just bringing it up in the salon.
Hmm.
And some things I'm like, mm, I I should care, but like
Don't have the energy.
I don't have the energy,
Yeah. No, I feel
you know?
that. I feel that. I feel that. Um, yeah, I have also, in a lot of ways, disassociated. I'm just really focused on myself right now, on the things I can control, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm very, I've been very in like just internalized and thinking about like, I think we talked about, what is it, October? So I know we've spoken since my daughter moved out and got her own place.
Mhm.
So me and my hubby have just been kind of room by room going through things like cleaning and organizing. And so with that external, thing that's happening, I'm like, let me start internally doing that too. So I've been really focused on like drinking water and eating well and exercising regularly. Now, by exercise, to be fair, because I've been a couch potato for several years in a row now. So by exercising, I found these trails by my house, these beautiful paved, like beautiful trails. Apparently, there's 20 miles of trails in my town that I didn't even know existed. And they're stunning. They're so pretty. So
Well,
I've just been going out walking,
yeah.
breathing, like, oh, look at that spider. Look at that bird. Oh, what a pretty
Mhm.
flower. you know,
Yes,
that's what
absolutely.
I've been on because, yeah, existing is a lot right now.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, I've been keeping myself busy. I feel like honestly these past few weekends it was like one of my friend's bachelorette parties, so like went out
Yes.
there to celebrate that her.
Where was
Um
that?
Grafton, Illinois.
I don't know where that is. Okay. I don't think
Yeah.
I've heard of that. Where's that? Where is it?
I mean, it's so I'm in Overland. It was probably about 45 minutes, like right across the
Okay.
river.
Just right over. Okay. I
Yeah.
gotcha. That's why I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But the theme was like uh hot pink or trashy hot pink like cheetah print. And so I low key looked like Snooki from Jersey Shore. Like I put on
Yes.
my like long wig and I don't know if it's cheetah print. It might be leopard print. I do have some spotted animal print dress. So I did wear that and it's just
Yeah.
like I know all those people there were like who the hell are these girls?
I love a bachelor party though, and honestly, the tackier the better for a
Yeah, for
bachelorette
sure.
party. Yeah,
And like
I love it.
if you knew her, it would all make sense. Like the theme and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
I was more so like, why are we out here doing this?
yeah.
Like,
Especially when St. Louis is literally right there.
yeah, yeah, because I was almost like, a few of us could be hate crimed out here. Like she has gay male friends and uh black and brown friends too, and it's just like, out of all the places to do
Yeah.
this,
What made her? Does she live there?
no, they got
Why
like
did
an
she want to go there?
Airbnb, I guess. So I guess they did do a winery.
Okay.
But even then, I'm like,
Yeah.
out here?
Yeah. 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 Oh, good times. So, we've established that neither of us have really been truly like doing our homework. And that's, listen, this administration has made it really clear like chaos is like the plan, right?
Mm.
So we can't follow every little detail of every little thing because we'll literally lose our minds, which I think is kind of what they're hoping for.
Right.
But there was probably several things, but one really big thing that I wanted to make sure that we touched on today is the passing of Asada Shakur. And I actually wore this is I can't remember who was making these during Ferguson, but I still have mine. Asada taught me. So yeah, I proudly rock it anyway, but it's perfect timing for fall. I've been proudly rocking my Asada taught me daily or close to it. Um, so for people who are unaware, because I realize Asada has been gone since the 70s. So for people who are unaware, I just wanted to make sure that we help steer the narrative here. So Asada Shakur was she you know what? Let's see. I'm just gonna look at my notes because I don't want to forget. Obviously she was a black woman. She was actually Tupac Shakur's godmother or aunt, depending on who you ask. But even before Tupac, obviously she's a black woman and member of the Black Panther Party, which was a liberation movement for black people. She so she was very active in the 70s, and at some point at the height of COINTELPRO, because remember this is post Reconstruction, post Jim Crow, and black people are literally just trying to exist. um, the police violence is out of control. At this point I don't even think like um the social safety nets that kind of sort of exist today, because I realize they're on the line right now, that stuff didn't even exist. And so the Black Panther Party did a lot of things, but one of the things that we still exist today, obviously Black Panther Party hasn't been given credit for it, but one of the things they did then was they fed the people in their neighborhood. They had a program where children didn't go hungry, so they would feed children breakfast. And so that still exists today, and that's why you see like free breakfast programs in schools or free lunch programs in schools is based on what the Black Panther Party was doing in the 70s. They were policing their own neighborhoods because white police officers couldn't be trusted to be in the neighborhood. And they were just really it was a time of like pride in your blackness and just like community, and everybody just kind of lifting each other up. Well, of course, white domination didn't like that, and so they set out to kind of break that up. And get back to my notes. So when you think about like the US government killed Fred Hampton, we know that they killed Martin Luther King, they killed Malcolm X. Okay, so there was just like this movement of like, let's knock down all of the powerful people in that community, or the people that black people are looking up to in that community, so that they could kind of cause chaos within the community. And so Shakur, Matulu Shakur, which was Tupac's stepfather, and others were oftentimes set up for crimes. So Asada was actually accused of shooting and killing a police officer on a highway. Um, and I say accused of because, again, this is the 70s. Like, you can't get a fair trial today. So just imagine being a powerful Black woman in the 70s who's able to speak and people move. So she was accused of it. I don't remember if she was actually convicted. I believe she was, because she ended up breaking out of prison. She was broken out of prison by other Black Panthers. Um, and somehow escaped to Cuba. And so my favorite part of that story is she escaped to Cuba. Cuba provided her with, what do you call it? Is it amnesty or cover? Like, Cuba refused to send her back. And
Mm-hmm.
so she was able to live the remainder of her life as a free woman, which she deserved. Um, I look up to her so much, and she's a really important part of Black history, obviously. Um, so I just really wanted to make sure that we mentioned her name, and also wanted to point out that, um, as one of the things we talk about a lot and unintentionally is politics, but it's something that we can't get away from, and presidents especially. And some of y'all's favorite president, Barack Obama, under Barack Obama, in 2013, she was added to the FBI's most wanted list, and a $2 million bounty was placed on her head. Nobody was even talking about her. Like, where did that come from? There was no reason for him to do that. And so that's just one of many reasons why I have beef with Barack. Yeah. So, and just to end my rant on a quote, one of her quotes that I love is, "Only a fool lets somebody else tell him who his enemy is." Amen. I just love her so much. And
Oh
I
yeah.
love that she escaped. Like, that is my favorite part of the story.
Yes. May she RIP. Because it was
Hmm.
definitely, yeah, she, during my first arrest, her one chant, "It is our duty to fight for our freedom." That was like my first chant that I said like as I was getting arrested.
Hmm.
So yeah, definitely a role model and iconic woman in
Icon, a
history.
queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my mom
Yeah.
has the same hoodie.
Does she?
Hmm.
Love it. Love
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I loved that Ferguson was channeling her, because for me, like, when I was going back and forth, obviously I don't live in St. Louis, but I have roots in St. Louis. And at that time, I lived near enough to St. Louis that in those first, like, from August 9th, at least until the end of that year, I was back and forth to St. Louis like 2 or 3 times a month. But I was intentionally, like, one of the things that I loved about that movement in Ferguson is that it was a movement of young people. Like, young people were at the forefront. Young people were, I don't want to say calling shots, because obviously it was very decentralized. Like, there were no leaders necessarily, but um, kind of the brains of the operation was a lot of young people to me, you know.
Hmm.
They were young to me. And so the contrast of, like, the youth of the people who were kind of the brains of the movement at that time, and Asada, who's older than me. It gave me goosebumps every time. Every time we did that chant that you were talking about, I love it. I love it.
Hmm. Agreed.
Good stuff.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, a lot of the leaders are a little bit older than me, but a lot of them like are just now entering their 40s. You know, a lot
Yeah.
of those people that were in
Yeah.
charge
At the
during
forefront. Yeah.
Ferguson. So like, and if you think about it, like now Ferguson was over, well,
10 years.
about 10 years now. And it's
Yeah.
like, so they were in their
Well, yeah, we
30s.
just hit 11 years, I think, right?
Yeah.
That was 2014. Yeah.
Hmm.
August 9th, 2014. I will never, ever forget that day.
Hmm.
And I was I was in Indiana when like I was heavy on Twitter at that point. And then I have like a bunch of my family lives in St. Louis. So I know very early in, like Mike Brown was definitely still on the ground in the burning heat. And I started seeing videos and started seeing people go outside and um yeah, I'll never forget that day.
Yeah. It's like crazy when you think about it because, some people can be like, where were you September 11th? Or like, what happened? And it's like, if you bring up August 9th or it was just recently, was it October 6th? That was Vonderit Myers, or just recently his date came up as well.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then,
yeah.
um,
There were
yeah,
so many.
or
There were
even
so
like
between
birthday.
August 9th and the end of the year, there were so many.
Yeah.
Like I want to say the young lady who was hanged in the PD there. I want to say her name was Kim King. There were a lot. There were a lot of people from August of 2014 to January of 2014. It was the police were doing the most in
Yeah.
St. Louis.
Hmm. A lot going
Yeah.
on. If I remember correctly, we hold or one of the statistics is Black men have a higher chance of dying by police in St. Louis than like any other state.
Wow. Good
Mm-hmm.
times.
Great.
Way to go, St. Louis.
Right. And since you brought up Barack Obama earlier, he uh, also disappointed me because, yeah, I found that out as well. Like, he essentially allowed for her to be put on the FBI's most wanted list. Like, low key, that's kind of crazy. But he also, hold on, let me pull it up because I think I screenshotted it. Oh, yeah. Because it was the October 7th. So that was like the anniversary when Hamas, all that. And he said, after 2 years of unimaginable loss and suffering for Israeli families and the people of Gaza. And immediately I was like, so do the people of Gaza not have families? Like, what? So already I was just like, we should all be encouraged and relieved that an end to the conflict is within sight. Now that like everything's gone and people are like
Like, are
whole
there people
generations
left
are
in Gaza?
gone.
Yeah. Are there people left? It didn't look like there were very many people even left.
Well, and
Like,
when it comes to these ceasefires, like I don't know how people don't get like when they call for those, to me, it just looks like, okay, we're going to do this to get people to come back and then they just bomb them again. And so, and that's already happened. Like, even with this most recent one, like, literally the next day they bombed it. And at this point, I'm kind of like, how do they even know how many Hamas members there are?
they
Like,
don't. They don't.
yeah,
I just
y'all
think it's a
saying
lie. I think it's a made up boogeyman. I just
literally,
call me what you
like,
want. I think it's a made up boogeyman. I don't even think it's real. I think it was
it,
a setup.
yeah.
So I have been going down quite a few conspiracy theory wormholes. And a couple of days ago, so I discovered this YouTuber. I want to say her name is Sabby Sab. She's a somewhat young Black woman. I think she's younger than me. She may be a little bit older than you. I want to say she's Sabby Sab is her name. She cracks me up. But she posited that the state of Israel might potentially just be like an American military base by another name. And that had never crossed my mind, but when she said it, it made a lot of things make sense. Made a lot of things make sense. So 10 out of 10 recommend her channel. I love her. Yeah, check out her stuff.
Absolutely. Well, and also like when you were like, ever y'all's favorite president, like also Elizabeth Warren made like a similar statement, and so did Bernie Sanders. And it's like, yeah, are y'all gonna like call out the language? And also, what even is a two-state solution? Like what does that even mean at this point?
I mean, at the end of the day, Palestine has been there. Israel is younger than my grandmother.
Right.
So I just don't understand how. I mean, I do understand because white domination knows no bounds, but like, make it make sense. Like, you just pulled up and we're like, this looks nice. Yeah, we'll take this.
And this is my own little like opinion and 2 cents, but who else we also need to blame is the British, because like the British allowed this to happen. They allowed for Zionism to rise, and they were like, yeah, y'all can just go over here. And then when shit popped off, they were like, okay, well, we're going to leave it up to the UN to decide. No. Because up until this moment, y'all wanted to like have your cake and eat it too. And
Yeah.
now that war is breaking out, well, not
Yeah.
now, but like back then,
Yeah.
and after World War II, it's like now you're like, oh, sorry guys.
Yeah.
So I also think we need to put some blame on the British.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's colonization
Yeah,
continued,
at
right?
the end of the day.
Like, it's just we know the British love colonizing. They probably went
Yeah,
over and
because
got all
I
their
was
little
looking,
treasures for their museums and then dipped.
and what's even more like wild is before like even the British kind of had to say, like when the is it the Ottoman Empire that was like kind of in charge for a little bit? Um, like they had uh like all people living there, and it was fine. So again, like I understand wanting to have like, oh, this is ours, right? But like if you never had that to begin with,
I
like
don't think just pulling up on a whole country that already
yeah,
exists and just claiming it as yours is the answer.
right.
Like, what?
Yeah. And like I also think there was really no accountability for the countries that like just gave in and like ratted out on their Jewish neighbors. Like, where's the accountability for that? But
Mhm.
instead of like that, you were just like, well, we want to have our own like statehood no matter what. And it's
Yeah.
like, so y'all are okay with doing the exact same thing
I don't know
to
why you couldn't have your statehood in the state that committed the Holocaust. Like, why are we going? Like I said, we have left Europe and went to a whole other place and just been like, yeah, well, this looks nice. We'll take this one. Like,
yeah.
your land is where they chased you from, I don't know. because I don't, history has not necessarily been my strong suit. And while I do love history and I do a lot of reading on history, it is more often than not centered around Black history in the context of the larger community. So I, don't want to speak out of turn, but it just seems to me that you went to a brown nation and stole their land, and that's not really, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Literally. Yeah, and then it just had me thinking, like, with the British, like, just backing off and being like, "Oh, we don't want any a part of this." It's kind of like, okay, well, y'all need to pack up your shit in Africa then, because what is it like? Yeah, Europe and they have their own little military bases down there, and it's like, no, how about y'all leave then?
And quiet as it's kept, we always talk about the Jewish Holocaust, but we never talk about King Leopold. In what country was he in? Um, my brain is frying right now. I'm just going to look it up right now. But more people died. He was from Belgium. Um, and more people, he murdered more people in the Congo, which has not seen peace since,
Right.
than Jewish people were murdered during the Holocaust. But we like just conveniently don't discuss that. To this day in Belgium, they sell these little hand-shaped chocolates that are King Leopold was chopping people's hands off when they didn't want to work in the, when they didn't want to harvest um what is it, rubber that they harvest in the Congo. And so he was chopping people's hands off. And to this day in Belgium, they sell these little hand shaped chocolates and they're a delicacy there. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, not that I don't have sympathy for anyone who's experienced a Holocaust, no one should experience it. But I just find it funny how, like you said, and it's Zionism. It's like it's this whole big deal, and you can't say anything about the people of Israel as if this other Holocaust never existed. But you can do whatever you want to Black people. You can say whatever you want to about Black people, and there's no. And I know it's a power thing. Um, yeah, it's just frustrating.
It is. And like, I don't know, the one thing that I loved about like Marvel Black Panther about Wakanda was like they could hide in plain sight.
Mm,
And I remember like the first time watching it and how like they chose to be so like closed off from the world. And like a small part of me, because like, I am half white and I have a white mom. A small part of me was like, like, yeah, why wouldn't you want to open up to the world and like kind of in a way to be like, fuck you, because here we are
mhm,
like more technologically advanced than all y'all, like
mhm.
come if you want to, but then also like throughout history tells you why they didn't do that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And now I'm just like, ugh, I hope that there is like this small, I don't, well, not small, but like other country or something that like is so advanced and they're just like, we're just going to keep to ourselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you can't even, like, you literally can't tell anyone because there's nobody on earth who's not touched by white colonialism and domination. So you,
Hmm.
and we've had this conversation before. Like, I wouldn't tell white people if I knew about it. I wouldn't tell them just because historically they can't be fucking trusted. um And because of that, like, you can't really tell anyone, because as long as white domination and colonialism is a thing, you can't tell anyone. So I agree. I hope there's a place out there that Black and brown people are living free and happy and don't tell a fucking soul. Because if you tell somebody, you're not going to be living free and happy anymore, because they're going to come over there, they're going to pull up and be like, yeah, we like this is ours now. And if you don't go
Literally.
along with it, they will literally kill and rape and maim and do whatever it takes and make up stories about you and how you're not civilized. And yeah, keep that shit to yourself.
And I'm almost convinced, like, that's why the world will never really know true peace, is because, like, there just hasn't been any accountability, reparations, like, even apology for, like, how Black people have been treated, like, just throughout the world.
Mm-hmm.
But especially, like, here in America too, like, when people are like, "Oh, it's just so chaotic now, blah blah blah," and I'm like, "It's always been that way."
Like now? Just
Yeah,
now?
right, right. And I still get like frustrated seeing those signs, like, "Oh, if Kamala would have won, like, I would be at brunch right now." And it's like, okay, you would be at brunch right now. How about other people that like are still suffering?
Babies
And
in Gaza would still be getting blown up.
yeah,
I live here.
exactly, exactly.
All of that
And
started under Biden and Kamala.
right. And again, it's just still like, oh, y'all really think we can just like vote our way out of this still? And
Yeah.
like maybe I would be a little bit more hopeful if we saw like just a whole new set of people like that were, I don't know, under the age of 50. I'll even say 55. But
Hmm.
like it's still the same people. And
Yeah.
like I know I think Nancy Pelosi, like who's ever running against her is like younger, and it's like,
Why
Nancy,
is she running?
literally,
And that's what I'm
girl,
saying. You don't care. Like, you
you
don't care
don't
about this country.
care.
You care about power. You care about having power. You care about being able to take your money off the top. Like, there's no way that you don't care about this country. You
Yeah.
just don't. You
And
just
I
don't.
know that there are like some younger politicians getting in there, but it's like, I don't know, the numbers we need, I don't think we can wait 10 years to like completely, like, it's
Hmm.
now or never. For real, for
Hmm.
real.
I agree. I
And
agree.
like,
I saw that Cori Bush is running again.
yes. Yes.
What do you know about that?
I That's kind of it
That's
right now.
that's it? Okay.
Yeah.
How's St.
Uh,
Louis feeling about that? Do you know?
I've seen I've seen a lot of support, but I feel like I'm also like in the community that would
That's your
support her.
algorithm. Yeah.
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 I know I would like to sign up and help volunteer when I
Mhm.
can. So,
Mhm.
um, but I, I also think too, like Wesley Bell takes APAC money, and and that's what it's all gonna. Especially too, because up here in Missouri, like they are really trying to like strip away our rights, and like I think we're gonna have to re-vote on all the shit that we like already voted for.
Mm.
And what they're gonna do is they're gonna reword it to make it sound more like difficult and confusing. And it's just frustrating. And
Yeah.
they're like trying to do like the gerrymandering. So
Good times. Good times. I was talking with someone in the salon recently, um, about like, because they were saying kind of the same thing, like we just need younger people with fresh ideas, yada yada. And I'm like, and like we said, they kind of squeeze through, but then it's like they get there and the apple itself is already so corrupt that, I mean, your choice is kind of to either get in line, or APAC comes and buys off your competitor, whatever. Like, it's, I don't know how many different ways we can say systemic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the whole
And
damn system.
and I'm almost convinced that like that's what happened to, I forget if he was a congressperson or a representative down in Florida, I think.
Mhm,
And like
mhm,
he got caught in that scandal. Apparently he was at some hotel and had like drugs and was seen with a man or some shit. And
mhm,
it just like, to me, I was like, that just came out of nowhere.
mhm.
Like,
Like maybe they set it up.
yeah,
Mm.
like it was just a wild story.
Yeah.
And
And I feel like it was not even a man. It was like an very young, I don't want to say underage, but if not underage, it was borderline, if we're talking about the same person. Like
maybe,
black male person. Um and so, I think like, yeah, like all of the things, like there's drugs here. It's,
yeah.
a young person who's black. You know what I mean? And it's a it's a man or a young man. Like
Hmm.
I think, yeah, I don't put anything past any of them, to be
For
honest.
sure. Yeah.
Um, so who
And I
knows?
agree. Like, it is the whole system. And, like, again, okay, you get your few in there. And then if they get bought out or,
It's like
they're,
I really liked AOC in the beginning, and I just, the more she talks, the more I'm just like, they
hmm
got to her.
hmm
It's giving.
well, and rumor has it that, like, maybe she was always entangled because
Mm.
apparently, one of her, I don't know if startup is the right word, but maybe two of her big donors, like in the very, very, very beginning, came like had Zionist backgrounds or something like that.
Mm.
And even with what's his name? Zohan. I want to say he even made like,
Mandami, or is that who you're talking
yeah,
about? Mm-hmm.
yeah, I want to
That
say
everybody's super excited about.
mhm. I
Mm-hmm.
think on October 7th, like he made some like the same kind of, oh, two-state solution, Israeli families, Hamas, blah blah blah. And it's like,
Yeah. The Democratic old guard shuts down young folk in their party. And that, yeah, that's it. Where I think that Republicans have done a much better job of lifting up younger people. Of course, they're young white nationalists, but but they do. They
mhm.
do. And I think like even with because I definitely have gone down several Charlie Kirk wormholes as well. Um and I think what they're doing, like I think that they were positioning Charlie Kirk in a particular way, and that's why he had such a close relationship with Donald Trump and all of these things. But then when he decided that he was no longer going to support Israel, that's when it kind of all hit the fan, it seems like, to me. I
Mhm.
thought it was weird how Bibi came out multiple times in the immediate aftermath and kept saying it wasn't us, it wasn't us. Like, where'd that come from? Thought that was a little weird. Nobody
Mhm.
said it was y'all until you said it wasn't. And now it's like, that's suspicious. Let's, go see what's going on.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I think that as like they will lift you up, but one of the things that's a non-negotiable is that you have to be in support of Israel. And maybe on both sides. Maybe that's a both sides thing. It probably is it seems to be a both sides thing. I saw a story in passing that that Qatar is building a base in Idaho. Did you see that?
I'm not familiar. Cutter.
Or Qatar? I think Americans pronounce it Qatar, but and Qatar is not correct either. It's a Arabic name, I believe, but it's spelled
Oh,
Quatar.
okay. You're talking about the country.
Yes,
Got it.
is building a base in Idaho. Like they've
Oh.
gotten the go ahead and they're building a base in Idaho. And it was my intention before we hopped on today, and I hadn't done it. We'll see what happens if I go back and look. But I believe that I asked that question on this podcast one time, that I find it funny that the United States has military bases all around the world, in different countries all around the world, but no other country has a military base in the United States. And I just always thought, I mean, now granted, I wouldn't want a military base here. It doesn't make sense to have one here. But I just think it's interesting, like, why does it make sense for us to be in other countries, but we don't allow other countries here? And now Qatar has bought the dictator a plane, and now they're building a military base in Idaho.
Hmm.
So I find that fascinating.
That is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, now what are we supposed to do with that information?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Andrew Gillum was the Florida
Yeah.
gubernatorial candidate who was set up. He now hosts Native Land Pod with Angela Rye and Tiffany Cross. I didn't realize that was the same person, because I do watch that podcast on occasion. I didn't realize that was the same person. Okay, good to know.
Yeah. That name sounds right.
Yeah. You have anything specific? Because I don't want to be.
I was gonna ask, well, I guess since you're in your own suite, you probably don't get like a lot, you don't probably hear like other people's discourse now. I was just gonna ask, like, any talk of the Taylor Swift album, or have you seen any discourse around that?
So I have seen discourse. No one has brought that to me in the salon. No one's brought it up yet. But I have seen white women dragging her ass all up and through the
Mm-hmm.
internet.
Mm.
Are you a Swiftie?
I'm offended that you would even have to ask.
Did
No.
you ever like her?
Mm-mm.
Like, did you like her younger stuff? No.
No, and I was just telling people, like, when she came out, like, she was country, and I've never been like a country girl
Hmm.
anyways.
Yeah.
And then when she switched to pop, I mean, it's not like I live under a rock. Like, I know of her songs, but I did not
Yeah.
go out of my way to
Sure.
listen to her songs.
Sure.
And honestly, anytime that I actually did sit down and like type in a Taylor Swift music video, I just wanted to see the cute person that was in it. because her "You Belong With Me" had Lucas Till, and at the time I thought he was cute. And
Mhm.
like I get like that was a little boppy. I'll give her
Mhm.
that. That one was a little
Mhm.
boppy. But
Mhm.
also, that song came out probably over a decade ago where she
Mhm.
was talking about high school, and she's
Mhm.
still talking about high school. So that's all I'm going to
Truly.
say. That's all I'm going to
Truly.
say. And
Truly.
then, yeah, any of her other songs, like I think it was Bad Blood that she did with
Mhm.
Kendrick Lamar. And that music video also had like just a bunch of badass women in it. So I was like,
Mhm.
okay, I can like fuck with this.
Mhm.
And then her, is it All Too Well, had Dylan O'Brien and Sadie Sink. And I was like, okay, I liked the visuals of that song,
Uh-huh.
you know? But yeah, for her to like sell to Target though, I was like, ooh, girl. Like to me, that's her
Mhm.
kind of taking a stand, no?
Mhm. Yeah, well, and she did make a couple of swipes. Some of the podcasters that I follow interpreted that way, and I could see it being interpreted that way, like taking swipes at Black women specifically.
Mhm.
And maybe they were specific Black women, but she didn't name any names. It just came across very genetic, but it was very much Black woman coded. Um,
Well, and
and go ahead.
allegedly that lyric where she says like what'd she say? Like, I'm not a savage and I'm not a bad bitch. I don't know,
Mhm,
something like that.
mhm,
And
mhm.
rumor has it that before Travis got with Taylor, he tried to hit up Meg.
Yeah, I heard that. I did
He
hear
tried
that.
to hit up Meg and Coco Jones, which is like, and someone also pointed out, like, damn, he was just trying to get with like any black woman because, like, don't get me wrong, both Coco and Megan are like queens in my eyes, but
Mhm,
also kind of on opposite
mhm,
spectrums. And
mhm,
so it's just like, what
mhm.
happened? Did one turn you down and you immediately were like, okay, well, let's try the other end and like work our way towards the middle?
And it also seems like he definitely because I've seen rumors that like he's, and who knows, we don't know these people, but that he was just using her to like raise his status. Not that I mean, he's a football player, he plays for the Chiefs, like their Super Bowl
Hmm.
winning team, but also that he's getting older and will be retiring, and so that he's just kind of looking ahead to what the next phase of his career looks like. And so I find it interesting that you named three singers, three popular singers, or vocalists, we'll say, because Meg's obviously not a singer. And so that's interesting because he's never dated a singer before. So I don't
And
know.
also found out one of his exes, Kayla Nicole, that
Mhm.
girl was on Special Forces and won.
I didn't know that.
Like,
I didn't know she was a badass like
daddy,
that. Yeah.
daddy. And I
I
saw
didn't
some of
know
the
she was a
clips
badass
and
like
I was
that.
like, damn, like,
Okay.
all
Okay.
right.
Yeah, the first girl that I saw that basically did a freaking TikTok dissertation, basically was like she's still trying to play like the awkward high school, whatever, but like, bitch, you're almost 40.
Like,
Like you're almost 40.
I feel like that's what I've been saying. Like, she's literally
Uh-huh.
living out her high school fantasy
Yeah.
because apparently when she was growing up, she wasn't like this popular girl. Like she was, kind of nerdy. She was a theater kid.
Mhm.
And yeah, I feel like she's living out her high school fantasy of like, well, see, I'm with like the popular
The jock.
football player. Yeah.
Mhm.
And like
Mhm.
even her fucking when she got engaged, like your favorite high school English teacher and football coach or gym teacher is getting married. Like,
Yeah.
girl, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Now she reversed the black wife effect.
For
He
real.
definitely was better looking when he was dating black women, for sure.
Well, and also, honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if in a few years, if they do get married, if it comes out he was cheating on her with black women because
Mhm.
he did a dating show a few years ago. And there's a
Mhm.
clip where he's talking about one woman who's white and how
Mhm.
he's talking about her. He's like, yeah, she's someone that like I can bring home to my family and like get married and like see a future with. And then when he was talking about the black woman, he was like, but like life with her would just be so like entertaining and I know I would never get bored and like and it's like, hmm?
Not shocking, and reasons why I just could never. I just could fucking never.
Like,
Yeah.
what do you
So,
mean?
yeah, he definitely has a type. He definitely has a type if you look through his dating history, and that
Mm-hmm.
type doesn't seem to be white.
No.
So,
No.
yeah.
And I also think too, like I think who we have to low key kind of blame for like how big Taylor Swift is Kanye West.
Yeah.
I think if he never interrupted her doing
Mhm.
during the MTV, and I was just thinking about that. Like, if it
Mhm.
were the Grammys, I could have maybe like understood, right? But
Mhm.
it was the
Mhm.
fucking MTV like music
Mhm.
awards.
Yeah.
Like
'Cause I had never heard of her before that day. I didn't have it. I had no idea who she was. That was
literally,
like
and
her introduction to the world,
yes, and if you think
honestly.
about it, like, because we live in America, here you had this big,
Big
scary,
scary black
strong
man.
black man
Mhm.
go up and interrupt this. Because that's when she was like doing country too, I think.
Mhm.
Um, or maybe she like just shifted into like country pop. Either way. But yeah, you had like this innocent little white girl up there just holding her award, like, oh, I guess I'm not
Mhm.
good enough.
Mhm.
And now look.
And he did it twice, right? Because he did that. And to be clear, I agreed with him. The Single Ladies video is fire. Like
I mean, for
how
sure.
Taylor
Yeah,
Swift,
he
like
wasn't
how Taylor Swift,
wrong.
he wasn't wrong.
He wasn't
But
wrong.
then he did it again because then when he did the is the name of the song Famous? I think the name of the song is Famous, and he talks about sleeping with Taylor Swift, and he's got that Taylor Swift lookalike in the bed with him, and
But he
yada
got
yada.
permission.
Yeah, well, allegedly, because I didn't go deep into the drama, but it seems like I remember. I can't swear to it, but it seems like I remember Kim K coming out with audio of Taylor Swift giving her permission.
Yeah.
And that but she lied and said she never gave her permission, and then Kim K came out with that tape like, yeah, you did. Don't do
Hmm.
that.
Yeah. He
Um
sure did.
so which is like classic white womaning, right? Like
Well, and you know
gotta play
what?
the
If I
victim.
remember if I remember correctly, Kim dropped that receipt on Snake Day. Which,
Mm.
like I'm not gonna sit here and say like I'm a Kim defender and all that, but
Mhm.
she's my favorite out of all of them.
Of the
And
Kardashians?
and
Mm,
like
mhm,
to me, I'm kind of like, say what you will, but like Kimmy will stand up for herself. Like,
mhm,
and she will, like, she might not do it in a way we all agree with or like, but like,
mhm.
she stands on business.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I support a woman's rights and wrongs.
Mm,
So
yeah. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
again, I'm not saying like and it's been so long since I've even like watched the show,
Yeah.
but I've and I will say like she made her family. Like that's why I don't understand why all of them always want to give her shit. Like y'all are here because of her.
Yeah.
Like y'all wouldn't be this without Miss Kim. So like
Mhm.
let's not get it twisted.
Yeah. Did you see the story where they're suing Ray J right now for defamation?
No.
Yeah. So, Ray J's been melting down for several years. I think the
Mhm.
ghost of Whitney Houston is probably haunting him, but that's another story for another day. But he's not been okay for quite some time. But I don't know, in the last few weeks made some reference to the Kardashians being traffickers of little
Mm.
people. And insinuated that RICO charges were coming for them.
When you say little people, like children, or do you mean like
Mhm.
adults that are
No,
little?
no, no, I
Children.
mean
Okay.
children. I
Okay.
just didn't want to put those two words right next to each other in my sentence for the
Got it.
algorithm. um, yeah. So Ray J, and I feel like he would know, first of all, because it's clear that he's kind of it's clear to me, allegedly, he seems to be like a cleanup man for the industry. I think that they never said for sure, but during the Diddy trial, they alluded to the fact that he's a drug dealer for the industry. Um, yeah, I just think he's been involved in some shady shit and that he knows a lot of stuff. And that's why he keeps having these breakdowns because he's got a lot of pressure on him because of all the stuff that he knows. And even if he wanted to say something, he couldn't because the industry is powerful. We'll say that. But yeah, he kind of came out of left field with that and they sued him. So I'm gonna be keeping my eye on the paperwork for that trial just because um, especially if it gets dismissed or you know what I mean? Like, okay, they sued him. That means there's gonna be a day in court. I want to see what that paperwork looks like.
I mean, it wouldn't be shocking because, like,
Mm-mm,
P. Diddy has
mm-mm.
also been very close to the Kardashians. So,
And there was the weird interactions with Justin Bieber when he was a child. Very
hmm
public, weird
yep.
interactions.
And you might not know this, but rumor has it that, like, I want to say Courtney Kardashian, which is the oldest of the kids, dated Justin
Hmm.
for
Yeah.
like a
And,
few
but I don't know if you remember, but even before Courtney dated him, there were weird, like hyper sexual, like video and pictures between him and Kim, even before Courtney dated him. It was just weird. It was weird.
years.
If you want to go down that wormhole.
Oh, I didn't know that it was Kim before.
Hmm.
Now
And he was barely legal, right? When Courtney dated him.
I'm trying to think. I would have to look up the timeline. I
Yeah.
feel like him and Courtney dated after him and Selena, and I want
Mm,
to say him and Selena broke up like officially when he was maybe 20.
okay. Okay. So, I mean, I guess technically that's legal, but Courtney's over
It's
40,
we
isn't
yeah,
she? She's
it's
closer
weird.
to 50 than she is
Yeah,
40.
it's
Yeah.
weird.
So,
Definitely weird.
yeah, crazy.
Well, and also, again, I would have to look up the timeline and stuff, but apparently Taylor Swift also has a history of dating like boys who
White
just
nationalists.
turned
Oh,
what?
I said white nationalists. I should have waited for you to finish
Uh
the sentence. Sorry.
that, yes. But also I think two guy or boys that she dated like had just turned 18
Wow. That's
when she
gross.
was, I think, like 22, 23.
That's gross.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, I
Mm.
definitely think it's an industry wide thing too. Like, it's almost, I feel like we're making it, not we, but I feel like the internet makes it be like it's just Diddy and like just Epstein and just, but I think it's much more common. Like, I think it's a thing.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Well,
it's a thing.
and I'm kind of wondering because I think the reason why the Epstein files haven't been released is because, like, there's a lot of people on that name,
Hmm.
on that list. But
I
I'm
think they're all
also,
on it.
oh, yeah. But I'm
Yeah.
also wondering, like, and not to excuse, but like, how many of them were victim turned abuser? And
Hmm.
like just a never ending cycle. And so then, like, I'm also wondering, are we gonna punish them all the same? Like,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Like, when,
Hmm.
if, even if, right? Like, because clearly they are trying very hard not to release all that information. But
So
if,
hard that they shut the government down.
yeah, right,
Yeah.
right.
We
But
can come back to that on the next hour.
right. But if or when they do, you're not going to have people come forward if they're also going to be punished just as
Yeah.
harshly as the ones that should be. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, I mean, I do, and that's a valid question, an interesting question. But like when I think about like R. Kelly as a for instance, who was allegedly a victim as a child.
Hmm.
So, do we not hold him accountable for the stuff that he did because he was a victim when he was a child? Like,
No, you should absolutely hold him
yeah,
accountable 100%.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know what the right answer is,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I think
I
a
just
lot of
know
these
that there
people, like,
are, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, I don't think. Hmm, I feel like a lot of these people that are on the list, like, don't think what they did was wrong because it's so normal to them.
Mm, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I have watched like shows and interviews and where like people do fall into this system because they didn't know it was wrong.
Yeah.
And so, and once this is all cracked open for the world to see, you are going to have victims that are children. And so,
Mhm.
like, what are we going to do to make sure that they don't continue this?
Well, and I guess that's where I was going when I was interrupting you so rudely, was
No, yeah.
that it's so, I mean, it is very common that people who are abused also become abusers, but it's also common that people who are abused like have deeper empathy for other and don't abuse. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I feel like especially people who are currently children and being abused right now, um like we need to get them into some intense therapy and put some things in place to help them in whatever way that we can. But if you were abused as a child and then you begin abusing other children, I understand the space that that comes from, but I don't believe that now you're 30 years old and you didn't know it was wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I think like if you were 9, if you were abused when you were 4, now you're 9 and you're abusing your 4-year-old, sibling. Like I have space for like empathy in that because I understand that these are children. Um but as an adult, you know enough to keep it a secret. Why are we keeping a secret if it's not, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I don't know. I'm with you. I don't know the answer, but I do know that um all these people that swore up and down that they gave a damn about kids and now are doing mental gymnastics to try to act like it doesn't matter are full of shit.
Mhm. Right. 100%.
Because now you realize that your president is on there. That's insane. And the fact that, because a lot of, Republican and right wing people, one of their favorite comebacks is, well, the Democrats had them and they didn't release them. And you're right. You're right, because they're probably on them too, or they're protecting their friends who are on them. And I just think they all should go to jail. I think they all should go to jail. In fact, I think I'm on record on prior episodes as saying, like, if you harm children, throw them in a pit of fire. Like, I don't even have any, like, if you're harming children, I just don't, it's not okay. It's not okay. And like I said, I can make space for young people in that who came up in that, whatever. But like once you get to a certain age, if you now it's a choice. So yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
We have gone over our hour already. I'm not shocked by that at all though. Do you want to take a break and come back?
Yeah.
Okay, cool beans. We